you throwing it to? That looked like a Sam Darnold pass. Whew, here we go again. We're doing it all over. We're gonna see them all again one more time.
But Skip, baseball, stay in the corner, bro. Where you going? What was that one? Come on, Russ.
It's covered.
This really?
That's just completely out of control. And Russ, you're trying to throw it through two defenders to get to the corner. Okay, so he's playing out of control. My point about Russell Westbrook, he comes to L.A., he is coming home. This is his town. This is his team that he grew up rooting for. Nobody else was a Laker fan as a kid that I know of on the team because nobody else grew up here. So Russell is on the biggest stage he's ever been on, the stage he dreamed of being on.
Right.
He's got his new documentary dropping on Friday night.
Right.
About passion play, Russell Westbrook.
Right.
And I'm all eyes. I want to see it.
Okay.
But it's going to fuel his superstardom here in L.A. and fuel what I consider Russ's egomania. So all of a sudden, he's trying to live up to this new stage, and he's trying too hard.
Right.
And he wants to just take over the offense. He's the new point guard. LeBron is going to segue later in his career over to the 2 or 3 or wherever he's going to go. He's going to be off the ball for the most part. And Russ is trying to assert himself as the new leader and playmaker / quarterback of the Los Angeles Lakers. And so far, so bad, because in that 6 quarters that he's played with 20 turnovers, that's got to be some kind of preseason record.
Well, I'm sure it is, Skip. But I just think the thing is that this is the opportunity. This is the time where you find out what will and what won't work. And Russ, the mistake that you can. When you're on bad teams like Russ has been on the last couple of years, or teams that's not really viable for a championship, you can take those kind of chances. But when you're on a team that thinks they can contend for a title, a lot of those passes you can't attempt. And I think that's the hardest thing, Skip, is because he's played the way what we're seeing right now in the preseason far longer than he hasn't. So it's going to be hard to break that tendency. These guys, it's not a natural fit. And so anytime that something's not a natural fit, it takes you a little longer for it to fit. And so I believe it's going to take them, they might have to go past Christmas into the new year.
They might.
I would
agree.
Yes.
LeBron said it's going to take a minute. Maybe a couple of minutes, right?
You're exactly right, Skip. Look, everybody just automatically assume the team with the most talent win. Now, obviously, it puts you at a great advantage, but also blending this talent, blending these egos. Everybody at AD needs to get his touches. LeBron needs to get his touches. Russ doesn't want to feel left out. Carmelo, at one point in time, was the guy. So, Skip, you got to blend a lot of egos.
A lot of egos.
And a lot of shots, and so you got to divvy that up. But when do we get the shots? You just can't willy-nilly, well, Bron has shot 3 times, AD shot 4 times, Russ has shot 2. Now it's my time. It can't work like that, Skip.
I agree with your big takeaway that each one of these 4 who started the game last night have been the center of a universe before, where everything revolved around them. Even Russ last year in Washington, even though it was Bradley Beal, obviously, but Russ was the show.
Russ had the ball.
Yeah, he had the ball. And all of a sudden, you have to try to figure 4 guys out to revolve around Russ, who, to me, can be a disaster waiting to happen.
Yes.
I still believe that in the end, he's a joy to watch as far as a solo act, but he's a solo act stat machine, and he actually stat machined pretty well last night. I mean, look across the board at those numbers. Aren't those pretty good?
Yeah.
Aren't those Russell-esque? Because he got to 10 rebounds, right? He had 6 assists. He had 10 points. So he wasn't that far away from a triple-double in 28 minutes, right? Okay, well, that'll work, and I don't doubt that he's going to stat machine at the highest level, but does that contribute to LeBron winning? I don't think so.
Well, I think the thing is, Skip, also is that I don't know how, he's going to be able to get these numbers with AD and LeBron. I mean, like I said, you're just trying to get your feet wet. You're not really going all out. How I don't even think he has... Do you believe he'll have 15, 20 triple-doubles, Skip? I don't.
You don't?
I don't.
Well, I can tell you right now, in the back of his mind, given the fact that his documentary about his life is dropping on Friday night. I'm sorry. I think he thinks he's going to have 40 of them.
Skip, just because your documentary is dropping, that doesn't mean you're going to win a championship because you drop a documentary.
It does not. But he's all about Russ. His world revolves around Russell. And it's hard, I keep saying, to teach an older dog. He's not an old dog, but an older dog new tricks because it's what he's always been.
Right.
It's why Kevin Durant said, finally, I'm sorry, I can't do it with him. I got to join forces with those guys.
Well, Skip, in order to get something that you've never had, you must be willing to do things you've never done.
That is correct, because he is Russell Westbrook number 0 rings.
Right.
0 rings.
So if you
Does
want
he want a sacrifice for that?
Exactly.
Okay,
So if
and
you
it
want
is
rings,
a huge sacrifice.
Yeah.
He is going to have to swallow a ton of ego, and he's going to have to find a new place in this universe that in the end, if you're going to do what you think they're going to do, the universe still has to revolve around number 6.
Right.
It just does.
Yeah.
He's still the star of the show.
Yeah,
in the end, he has to be the man.
Right.
And by the way, big picture off last night, I like, and AD's been playing a lot now.
Yeah.
He's played way more than
he played
the
30 minutes last night.
Played 30 minutes, and he's been playing every game pretty high minutes. I'm impressed.
Yes.
And I was impressed with last night. He is playing at a supremely high level. Into Frankie V's viewpoint early in camp, he looks great.
He does.
He did muscle up a little bit. He leaned out and muscled up. He looks like he's ready to, you think LeBron's going to be in the MVP conversation. He could make a real run at it.
Yeah, but Skip, it looks like he's built his body up to play the 5. I thought he would play the 5.
That is correct. And he started last night at the 5.
Right.
Okay. So, and by the way, when Dwight came in, he just causes problems in a good way.
Yeah.
He's getting into it right and left with Bielitsa, and it's like he's pushing and he's shoving and he's laughing and he's smiling, and I love the energy he brings.
Right.
So I still love all the pieces, and you scoff at me, but it's GM LeBron brought in a lot of great pieces if he can navigate around number 0 rings.
Right. But the thing is, the guy that has the best chemistry with AD is LeBron and Rondo, because Rondo's played with him. Rondo knows exactly when he's going to spin and go and get the lob. As Rondo goes baseline, he knows AD's coming, he throws it up, AD puts it down.
Okay.
So they have great chemistry. That's something that he and Russ is going to have to continue to build upon, Skip, because those are easy baskets. But some of the passes that Russ was trying last night, I'm like, Russ, why?
I don't know.
Why?
But you've thought that his whole career.
Yeah.
Why did you try that? What are you thinking? Well, I don't know. It's just who I am.
Well, Skip, we've seen guys, really good players on bad teams. They do things. You like, and it's like, who cares?
Yep.
But when you're on a championship contending team, or what you believe is a championship contending team, the risk that you were willing to take on other teams, I don't know if you'll be able to get away with them.
Yep. Okay. Which brings me to the last man you brought up. I tweeted about this last night. I still say they look more effective with Rondo in the lineup in place of Russ. And you can't do it. If you're going to bring Russell Westbrook here, you can't.
Oh, you can't bring him off the bench.
You cannot do it.
Yeah.
But I loved what I saw from Rondo last night. Yeah. And what did I see in only 21 minutes? He also had nine rebounds. That's pretty good for a little man.
5 assists.
And 5 assists. And the offense started to click with Rondo orchestrating. It's okay if LeBron wants to play the 2 or the 3 with Rondo, because I trust him. You trust him.
Right.
He's high IQ and lower turnovers. He's not going to do anything where you say, Rondo, what are you thinking about that? Maybe every once in a while he'll try a pass just to see if he can thread the needle.
Right.
But for the most part, this guy can play quarterback.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he can.
So I'm going to give you all that, but I still say LeBron caught turnover fever. It was shocking to me, and I think you're going to see more of that this year, because it's the rub-off effect of you're trying to win in spite of, you're trying to overcome Russ, and somehow you play out of control too.
Well, they know, Skip, they know that skip pass that LeBron likes to make, come down on one side of the key and then skip past the ball all the way to the other side. And guys are getting their hands up, getting deflected.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. So, in the end, I give you high marks for everything except 7 turnovers in the first half.
It was 6 turnovers. That other was a block shot.
I just showed you.
It was a block shot.
No, you already said it was a turnover. So.
All right, well, we're just building up to the regular season, and now we're getting closer and closer. I cannot wait, guys. And speaking of some other teams, plenty of drama, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, will they both end up sitting on the sideline this season, or could they be dealt for each other? We'll give you the latest.